This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen on a baby registry. All right, we're gonna go in and go through one item by item. Let's jump right into it. So these first two items, we're starting off normal, a swing, and then kind of like a bouncer rocker type seat. Honestly, do you need either one? No, you can live without them. If you're gonna get one, I would probably get more of a bouncer seat because it's more easy to move around. Next, we have mittens and more mittens. So when it comes to mittens, I don't recommend you put them on the baby registry. Get sleepers that have like a cuff that you can cover their hands with. You can also put socks on their hands. Also, not all babies are scratchers, okay? And if you swaddle them, they might not be able to get their arms out anyway. So mittens, not that essential. If you're gonna get them, get a smaller pack and yeah, just a couple that match everything. Then we have a bonnet that makes me think maybe this baby registry is for somebody that's like got textured hair or curly hair. So if they're just protecting baby's hair as they grow up, that's great. All good there. No worries on that. Now we have hats that go with mittens. So like, again, you could have skipped those other mittens and just went with this instead. I actually don't recommend getting a bunch of hats. I never really put hats on my babies, and some sleepers will come with a hat anyway. So take advantage of those. Then we got some sleepers, jammies, whatever you want to call them. When it comes to sleepers, you want the zipper, you want the footies attached. There's some where they aren't attached. I like attached personally, especially when they're itty bitty, just to keep them warm. And then if they're newborn sizes or 0 to 3 months, if they could have that cuff to protect their hands, if they are scratchers, that is a bonus. Then we have what I call the bear suit. This is something for like when you're going on walks in the stroller or maybe in a carrier and you're outside in cold weather. I love these for babies. Get ones with footies attached if they are not walking. If they're walking and you want shoes on them, you can get unattached. But if they're itty bitty, that keeps their feet warm. If you can, again, get that cuff to cover their hands, keep their little fingers warm. We had one that was gray, absolutely loved it. Moving on into bath time. This bathtub, I like it. We had the Angel Care bath support. Wouldn't do that again. I would get a tub, so great choice here. Then on the shower head, you could get it, you could skip it. For me, you could just get a plastic cup and pour water on them, and that would suffice. So I wouldn't get it, but I get where it's a cool item to have. Okay, now these are items that I do want to see on baby registries all the time. We got diapers and wipes. Okay, these are practical essentials. Focus on those first, then get added things like the shower head later. Start with items you're 100% going to use. Moving on into feeding, so we got some cloth bibs. These are fine. I would recommend gender neutral. With some items, it's really great to go neutral. You can use it for future babies. So they're cute, but I would have gone more basic. Then we have a bottle warmer. Not a huge fan of bottle warmers. People lived without them for a long time. I think you can as well. And then we got a couple bottles. When it comes to bottles, I recommend getting one type, and I actually recommend getting like an 8 or a 9 ounce bottle, because if you get itty bitty ones, they're gonna outgrow them. And then you gotta replace them with bigger bottles. So to me, try to be practical and think about the whole journey, not just newborn. Okay, now we have what looks like a larger bottle. The problem here is it's a different brand, so it's a different nipple, a different ring, a different bottle, more parts and pieces to store. If the baby does reject it, you can get a new type. But the more you have, like just picture your kitchen right now. Do you even have room to store bottles? You're gonna need to make room. But how many do you realistically have room to store? All right, you don't need a ton. Just keep them clean, keep them moving. Moving on into bedding, so we have crib sheets. I recommend gender neutral. All your kids can use them. 2 or 3 is a sweet spot in my opinion. Then we got a Halo sleep sack. This is great. It's neutral. All the kids can use it. Wonderful investment. Then we have like the smaller swaddles. So again, I would go gender neutral. Swaddles can get very expensive because they outgrow them, and you got to make sure they're in the right size for safety reasons, because when it comes to sleep, we don't mess around with safety. A nursing cover, up to you on nursing cover. I don't think you need to go gender specific on that. I think you go something very neutral that would work with your outfit, you know, like something like that, you know, beige or taupe or mauve or something that's very simple and will work for you in any situation. We've got the mirror for the car. You might want to get 1 or 2, one for each vehicle. They're a great item to have. When baby's rear facing, it is very nice to be able to check in on them. Then we have the winter car seat cover. I would go gender neutral on this. What if next baby is a boy and you want to use it and you feel bad because it's pink? Gender neutral. All right. It's just better. It's just better. All right. Some postpartum underwear for mom. You don't know what postpartum is going to look like for you. I had 2 babies and completely different experiences. One of them, it was a crime scene. The other one, not that bad. So you don't know what you're going to get. I would say don't go too crazy buying a ton, but it is good to have a little bit prepared at home. You can always order more things. All right, you can always run out to the store. I actually bought more than I needed as far as like different shapes and sizes of like pads and things. And I kept them in the package and I kept them in the bag with the receipt. I ended up returning some after the fact. I was like, didn't need them. It was more than I needed. took them back, no problem. So, you know, you can be prepared, but you also don't need to be over prepared. Then we have some pacifier clips. These are beautiful, simple, and honestly, not a bad price for 2 of them. You don't need to have 20 of these. Probably one with a pacifier on it in the car seat and one that's like in the diaper bag. Okay, they went gender specific on this. I can live with it. You can buy new ones for the next kid. It's a small, affordable item. Not a huge deal. A good likelihood it's going to get dirty, lost, and thrown in the trash. So not a huge deal on this. Then we have the electric nail file. I would go gender neutral on this, but at the same time, like, you're using it at home. Nobody cares if your little boy's using a pink one, but at the same time, why not just get gray? You know, that's fine too. More postpartum essentials for mom. If you are in the United States, you will get sent home with some from the hospital. So keep that in mind. Maybe ask your hospital what that looks like exactly. And again, it's hard to say on how prepared you need or want to be. All right, but you always have, you know, your mom, your sister. You can call a friend and tell them to run out and grab you something. Or there's always Amazon delivery at home as well. Then we have a carrier. I like a carrier. I had a wrap one and then I had more of a buckle one and I enjoyed having them. Now we are hitting it. The weirdest item I've ever seen on a baby registry, a walking pad. On your baby registry? Really? And in fact, I think the next item is another walking pad. So kind of weird. Not sure what exactly is up with that, but if you want to put random items on your baby registry, you can. You might get a discount, but then take them off, okay, if you're going to like purchase them yourself. I think it's a little weird, but to each their own. Then we have some little cotton receiving blankets. I used receiving blankets as burp cloths and really enjoyed that. Again, though, I would go a little more gender neutral. Then we have some pacifier wipes. I probably wouldn't use these. In fact, I know I wouldn't. I would just rinse it off at a water fountain, at a sink. Like, I would just make do without. We've got an Aveeno set. When it comes to lotions and stuff, I'm not a dermatologist, but try to go like no scent, like scent-free. Try to go something very clean, very basic, and try to be consistent. I wouldn't keep changing their lotions because that's going to confuse their skin. Try to go simple. Then we have tights and tights. So for a baby girl, like, it doesn't hurt to have some tights. It seems a little random. There was like no other clothing on here. That's why it feels random to me. But okay, it's getting you started on some basics. Add a little more clothing though. I don't judge clothing on a baby registry. Then we have a portable changing pad. Some diaper bags come with this. I don't think we've seen a diaper bag, but I would watch for that and try to get a diaper bag that comes with one. All right, they're great for on the go, any situation, back of your car. If you're in a public restroom, set this down on the changing station to keep them, you know, clean. And with that, we are done with this baby registry. So weirdest item I've ever seen on a baby registry is the walking pad. They even had 2 on here. Kind of crazy, but you do you. At the end of the day, we want to make our baby registries as practical as we can. I'm here to help. If you want me to do this, review and like kind of audit your baby registry, I have a link down in the description where I can work with you. Specifically, we will go through your needs. Are you going to breastfeed? Are you going to go to daycare? What are you doing and what supplies do you need? All right, if you're interested in any of the products from this baby registry, they will be linked in the description as well. So check all those out. And in the meantime, watch another video to learn about more baby items that you need to skip.